The Trudeau Liberals were sent into a panic over our reports of a $6,000 a night hotel room. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. You might recall back in October, I had the shocking report that the Trudeau government billed taxpayers $6,000 a night for a hotel room for the Queen's funeral. Now, they had it for 5 nights. That would mean $30,000, except look, I was generous with the government when I wrote the story. I used their exchange rate, the one that they stated in the documents that were released to me. That wasn't the real exchange rate. It was actually more than $7,000 a night for a hotel room over 5 nights. Well, you can do the math pretty quickly, and it's well over $35,000 for one person with a hotel with butler service. They didn't want to answer questions about it then, and the latest documents that we've seen show that they worried about what this meant for the coronation. Should they cut back on numbers? That was one of the questions they asked when they saw the story. They asked, should they split up the prime minister and the governor general, have them stay at different hotels so that there wasn't a big number in terms of what these hotel accommodations cost. But they also showed that the minister's office, Minister Melanie Joly's office, told bureaucrats not to answer my questions about who stayed in the hotel room. We pretty much know it was the prime minister's office, even though they would never admit to it. They didn't want to answer questions about it then. They don't want to answer questions about it now. Why does this matter? Because the government is frivolous with our money. It's our money, it's our tax dollars. They're supposed to be good stewards of it, and in exchange for paying taxes, deliver services to Canadians. They can't deliver basic services, but they can spend our money, and they keep doing it. Conservative MP, Deputy Leader Melissa Landsman, was up in the House asking about this on Monday in the House of Commons after my updated story.
A new report from StatsCan says that over 1/3 of Canadians are experiencing financial difficulties. Over a quarter couldn't cover an unexpected expense, and nearly half are worried about their ability to pay rent. Canadians are struggling, and instead the PMO is covering up the Prime Minister charging $6,000 a night for a hotel room. Are they kidding?
Here's what we're doing. We have doubled the GST credit. We've provided a $500 top-up to Canadian renters. We're providing dental care to Canadian children. We are permanently eliminating the interest on student loans. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? The Conservatives voted against each one of these compassionate and necessary measures.
And the response there from Chrystia Freeland, speak like she's leading Romper Room, like she's a kindergarten teacher at story time, and tell us all the good things that they're doing for us. I don't buy it. It doesn't wash. It's not acceptable. Now, we've got another access to information request, and it shows that the government has learned. In what way? They're not telling us anything anymore. It cost about $143,000 US, or about $188,000 Canadian, for the Prime Minister's hotels when he left the Queen's funeral and went to the United Nations General Assembly. We don't know what hotel they stayed at. We don't know how many rooms they booked. We don't know what part of the city it's in. They've redacted all of that. It's blacked out. All that we know is that they booked a bunch of rooms for about 10 nights, and a bunch of Liberals, a bunch of government bureaucrats and staffers went to the United Nations. They don't want us to know the rest. Why? Because it's embarrassing, just like before. Now, when other Conservatives raised the issue of the $6,000 a night hotel room in the House of Commons this week, Liberal House Leader Mark Holland stood up and said, I guess you don't have real questions to ask. You're just focused on Prime Minister Trudeau. No. The Conservatives, the NDP, the Bloc, they've all asked real questions, trying to hold this government to account. They dismiss everything. Nothing's an issue to them. Everything is fine. Chinese balloons doesn't matter. Inflation, don't worry. Other people have it worse. The fact that our military doesn't work, the fact that we've got out of control government spending, the Canadians are hurting, no, everything's fine. That's their response to everything. It's not. The reason these stories about expenses matter is because if you can't look after the pennies, you can't look after the dollars. All the Trudeau guys know how to do is spend your money and not deliver services to you. It's time this has to end. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.